monitor all the checks you're issuing to make sure that that fund has sufficient balances. You will always have more than likely a sufficient balance in the bank account, but does that fund have adequate funds there? And then the last issue was the security on the library bank account that was unsecured for a period of 1 month. So our recommendations are that these are some issues that we monitor throughout the year, to make sure that some attention is given to, and maybe some follow-up to see that some things are being corrected. So be glad to answer any questions.
Any questions for Jake?
I thought at one time that when Gerber was a city administrator, we started a credit card policy.
If so, I know I visited with Mandy and she wasn't aware of one, and so if there was one adopted, they're not having a copy of it. It's important for us to make sure that every employee is aware of it, at least the ones that have the authority to use the credit cards. When they come in and say, I need a credit card to go wherever and do something, that they sign a paper that they're accepting the responsibility for the use of it, and that every receipt is brought back. Auditors are kind of funny creatures. Even if it's for a $10 lunch, we want to see a receipt.
Mm-hmm.
On credit cards, when you go to a restaurant and you buy something, you usually get 2 credit card receipts. One that says you charged $32. The other one says what the $32 was. We want the one that shows a detail of what it was charged, not just that something was charged for $150. We want to see the detailed meal receipt or hotel receipt.
Do you think giving somebody a credit card is a good idea? The company I work for, if you went somewhere, you paid for it and then they reimburse you, or like, if you're gonna stay in a motel, they could call and confirm it, do it over the phone, and you didn't have to worry about it.
That's a decision that the city council makes as to the degree of responsibility you want to assign to certain people. There are times when it is difficult when you send an employee somewhere to do something. They may not have funds themselves to charge it or a credit card. And there are times when you ask someone to do something and you give a card. If you do it the other way, then you're doing a reimbursement. Either way, you need to have a policy of what you're allowing to do. I think it's important that the city council realize how many credit cards there are, who's in charge of them, and who they're handed out to.
Well, in this day and age, sometimes it's difficult to go anywhere or do anything without a credit card.
I've tried to go somewhere and pay cash at a motel room, and they will not take cash. And you can't make a reservation without a credit card.
Right.
So sometimes it's necessary, especially if you send someone in an emergency somewhere and you say you don't know what their expenses are going to be. That's a decision that you as a city council make.
Say, for instance, Amanda gave a credit card to a department head to go to, say, a meeting. I know that sometimes that credit card has already been maxed out, and when they run it, it won't accept it.
The city credit card,
Yeah, because we haven't made the payment yet, or they haven't received the payment. So the person ends up writing a check or whatever for his room. I feel like that person that writes that check that may not have that kind of money should be paid back immediately upon their return, and then present that receipt, because that's gonna get that employee in trouble with the bank. Also, write a pre-written check for that. I don't know how you feel about that. We've done that in the past.
part of the policy is that if they take a credit card and they have those receipts, that those are immediately along with the credit card turned in when they come back. The city staff should be able to monitor what's being charged on that. If it's getting that close, then I think you need to look at the credit card balance and why it's getting that high, and making sure that it's a available to be used with a set amount. But on reimbursements, yes. On a city situation, though, it's not as easy as always coming back into the office and saying, here's my expenses, I'd like a check this afternoon.
Yeah,
Because certain procedures say it has to go through the authority and be.
yeah,
So there could be a time lag, and that's why credit cards are sometimes used, because you don't want an employee to incur their own money.
yeah. They could, I mean, they could have the check ready by the next day for the or for the person. Instead of waiting 2 whole weeks for an accounts payable.
And I think that's something that you can examine when you look at the credit card policy and reimbursement policy. Normally, if you look to me to make a recommendation, I hesitate because that's your decision. However, once you make a decision, I watch to see if it's been followed.
Thank you.
Any other questions for Jake? No? Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate you taking the time. Glenn, did you have anything you need?
No, that's it.
Next item on the agenda is the public hearing for the fiscal year 2015 budget. Glenn, do you have anything on that, or anybody have any questions?
Basically, this budget reflects the conversation we had at the workshop at the previous meeting, and really, that's the only change that was made.
I would move to approve 2015 budget.
Okay, that's second.
Isn't that, are we supposed to have public comment?
Yeah, this is a public hearing, you can't.
This is
can't
a
vote.
hearing, I'm sorry, yeah, public
Yeah.
hearing, we have that later in the agenda.
Oh, okay.
After we do the consent agenda, and then the budget comes up on the formal. Any comments on the, on the budget hearing? If there's a, go ahead, Lynn. You have a question?
I have some questions, but they can wait till later, I think.
Okay, that's fine. If not, we'll conclude our budget hearing, and we'll next move on to the consent agenda for the 5 meeting minutes and appropriations AB.
Question for Mr. Horn. Rick, I've had some people ask me if we could get a more expanded coverage of the meeting. Is there anything we could do to help you? I mean, like, if we give you a copy of the minutes? or-
Yeah, minutes would help you out. I mean, it's a different style of reporting. I'm not here to take minutes. I'm here to write about the meeting. But yeah, if you want to provide me
A lot of
with
people, you know, that's the only way they know what happened here. So would that be
Yeah.
something we could do to?
yeah, and I'd also encourage them to attend these meetings too.
Oh, yeah, okay, good.
Any questions? If there's no other questions on the meeting minutes or appropriations 8B, I ask for a motion for the passage for its entirety. It's been moved by Councilman Miller that we approve the consent agenda in its entirety. Charlene, you want a second?
Yes.
Second by Councilperson Abel. Any further discussion? Mandy, would you take roll call, please?
Abel,
Yes?
Yingler,
Yes.
Richard,
Yes.
Brown,
Yep.
Latrell,
Yes.
Miller,
Yes.
Audi,
Yes.
Peterson.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Can I ask a question on that?
Yes.
I tried to get your attention.
I'm sorry. All good.
I just wondered about the expenditures for advertising for employment. we fully staffed some point where we're gonna spend $2,300?
Yeah, I hope, a lot of that has to do with, radio advertising, which was pretty expensive, so, yeah, we still have a couple positions out there, I don't think have been.
And how often and how long do we advertise this?
It's usually a couple of weeks while we, it's, the search
I was thinking
usually.
the policy said 10 days that you had to advertise.
Yeah,
I noticed that two of these advertisements, one is 7 and one is 8, and the paper only comes out 3 times a week, so that's almost 3 weeks instead of 2.
Usually run 6 times.
I know that there's payment for 7 and 8. That's. And preparation of budget by the auditors. We have a payment of $425. What does the auditors actually do in the preparation of the budget?
well, I think he does a lot of things. One is to check, see if what we're submitting there is accurate as far as mill levy calculations, and I know we had a number of questions about transfers and other such things that we dealt with over the course of, after we constructed the budget, so I don't know what else you did, Jay, to actually.
I make sure that the beginning balances match with the audited figures. I make sure that the actual balances are laid in there, and that the 2 initial columns start out that 2014 year accurately, or 2015 year accurately. And then I review it and give opinions on it, and help them do that.
Okay. That's fine. Thank you.
Okay. Next item is the 2014 budget with the fiscal year with a mill levy of 55, total property tax of $1,268,136. Comment from council?
I do have,
Yes.
I was going through a statement of conditional lease purchase, certification of preparation, and on the principal balance as of January 2014, should that not be equal to the payments due in 14 and 15? Because those payments should include principal and interest, right? Oh, maybe it does, I think I miscalculated, I'm sorry.
It should.
Okay. That's all I have.
Thank you, Lord. Any other questions pertaining to the budget? If there's no questions, I entertain a motion to accept the budget as proposed of 55 total mills and $1,268,136. So moved by Councilman Richards that we accept the budget as presented. Second. At 55 mills, second by Councilman Brown. Any further discussion? No further discussion, those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same. Motion carries. Next item on the agenda this evening is the asphalt bid from Asphalt Fuel Supply in the amount of $19,800. Any questions for staff? Comments? Looks like this is probably for our chip seal project.
That's correct, yeah.
If there's no questions, I entertain a motion for approval.
I shall move.
So moved by Councilman Peterson that we accept the asphalt bid from Asphalt Fuel Supply for the amount of $19,800. Do I have a second? Second by Councilman Galen. Any further discussion? No further discussion. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same. Motion carried. Next item on the agenda is handed out this evening was the agreement with the elementary school, USD 237.
270.
Excuse me, I'm a 37. Got a little flashback there. Comes with my age. Any comment there's no comments, I entertain a motion to accept the agreement on the Boyd Elementary School.
I so moved.
Been moved by Councilperson Evil that we accept the agreement with the elementary school. Do we have a second by Councilman Hottie? Any further discussion? Lloyd?
Is this just for the easement?
This is just for relocating and putting in new underground utilities. Correct? Lonnie?
Right. It's for their new expansion that they're doing up there at the elementary school. We're gonna reroute.
And the easement.
They're going to pay for the supplies, I mean, the
They are
materials, I
paying
guess, is that what
for-
this is?
Yes, materials, $18,800. The easements, if this agreement is approved, the easements will be executed by the school board later this week. And then filed, and then work will begin.
No further questions? Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same. Motion carried. Next item on our agenda is a closed session with the city attorney, Administrator Rodden, and the governing body. How long do we need?
15?
15 for 15 minutes. I entertain a motion. It's been moved by Councilman Miller that we have an attorney-client privilege closed session with the city attorney, city administrator, governing body for 15 minutes, second by Councilman Brown. Any further discussion? No further discussion. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same. Motion carried. We will now go into closed session.
Yeah. Because you can't come out. Somebody's got some cards or something like that.